So thank you everyone for joining us here today. We're going to get started. It's 2:02 Eastern Time. So my name is Patrick Fuserini. I am a solution consultant at k-ecommerce. I've been in this role for about 6 years now, listening to businesses every day and hearing what their potential needs are for an e-commerce platform. Now, if you've been staying up to date with webinars and events with us, you might be a little tired of seeing my face and hearing my voice because I'm often the one doing the webinar presentations. So today we're going to change it up a little bit. I'm pleased to be joined by our Director of Product Management, Elizabeth Martin, today. Elizabeth is an incredible colleague who is always willing to help, entertain new ideas, and particularly collaborate with us in the sales team and all of our ideas. So she'll be talking about some new features that we have released recently on our platform and a little bit beyond. So Elizabeth, feel free to say hi.
Yeah, so thank you, Patrick. I always value working with you, and your insights always contribute to better product value. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today to discuss about our latest release. Just a couple of words on what I do here at k-ecommerce. I'm responsible for shaping the product roadmap, driving strategy, and keeping our product documentation in check. I get to work with an amazing team, and together we strive on building features that meet market needs. We value customer feedback to make sure we're delivering real value to our clients.
Beautiful. So just a couple of note-taking items before we jump into it. There'll be a question and answer period towards the end. So feel free, I mean, I'm sure you're all familiar with Zoom at this point, but feel free to write in the Q&A section if you have any questions that you might pop up, and we will answer them towards the end. That being said, if there is something that, either technical issues or something that happens, feel free to write in the chat too. With all that said, let's jump into it. So this webinar entitled What's New in the R1 2024 release. This is the product release that we're talking about here today. So very briefly, we're going to be covering a number of topics here, like the brand new UI, the buy get discounts, data privacy enhancements, and some other features along the way. So as I said before, or as I didn't say actually, we're going to take this in more of a Q&A style approach. So I'll be talking or introducing certain subjects, and then Elizabeth's going to chime in about the feature itself and give more product details since she's head of the product team. And we start off with the first one by talking about what's probably the most obvious improvement of all of the ones on this list, and that's our brand new front end design, what we're kind of titling internally Core 2. Really what this is that it's been a redesign of the front end to be completely built from the ground up. So now one of the reasons as to why it's the most obvious change on this list is because it pertains to the overall look and feel and the design of the website as a whole. So it's very obvious and in your face that improvements have been made. It's what your customers are going to see and use every day, that front end website. And so Elizabeth, first off, why did we decide that now was the time to make such a large improvement to the platform?
Yeah, so the tech we put back in place in 2016 was definitely ready for an upgrade, along with a much needed update to the tech stack. The MVC framework was great back then and really helped us get into the mobile world. But now, almost 10 years later, starting to feel a bit outdated.
And I mentioned before that this was one of the biggest improvements that we've had in recent times. So Elizabeth, tell me what improvements or changes were done to the overall visuals of the site that everyone here today should know about.
Yeah, so the new design emphasizes a mobile-first approach, meaning that the site is initially optimized for mobile devices before scaling up to larger screens. The general experience is more sleek, and the user experience remains similar to retain that familiarity feeling. This is because we've kept how the pages work.
Perfect. Now, to my understanding, after reading through everything, not just the visuals have been improved, but there seems to have been a ton of work that's been put behind the scenes of this new front end that also greatly benefits the platforms and the users on it.
Sure, that's a big change, right? So We've improved many elements that are somewhat invisible from an end user standpoint. For example, the CSS is now easier to work with. We've also improved the accessibility, which not everyone can see the effect of this. Also, performance, like the page load time is better now. Another important work that Core 2 enabled is that we created a new page editor experience, which is very important.
Amazing. And my next question, kind of going down that trajectory, falls probably more to the existing customers that are on the call here today. And I know there are quite a few, which is this. There's obviously a move that needs to be done from the what we're calling Core 1 platform to the new Core 2 platform that we just talked about. And I don't want to spend a ton of time on this in terms of like project standpoint, implementation, and so on. But what has the product improved upon to facilitate these types of moves from one version to the next?
Yeah, so we've made sure first that the front end, which is the customer facing part, only changes with this improvement. This means that the back end and the sync stay the same. So one tool that we've built to help that is that we've improved a lot of the contents on the front end. And so to avoid replacing contents that merchants may have changed, they can now review and compare the contents with the new ones. This is the reason we created this tool, to help with Core 2 migration. As you can see here on the screen, you can accept the new contents or reject and keep your own.
Perfect. I'm just highlighting over the screen here where you can see those differences. Now, next on the list is buy one, get one. So for a while now, customers have been asking us if BOGO, commonly referred to, or buy one, get one, was a promotion feature that was supported within our platform. Now, often we can perceive this to be more of a business to consumer or B2C focused feature, but BOGO has been growing recently in popularity over the past few months in the business to business space as well. Naturally, buyers are becoming more used to buying for themselves online, and so with that in their business life, they want the same kind of tools that apply. And so I know that we decided to build it alongside one of our good customers. So we worked closely with them, as I know, to establish a feature that works for real world applications, so that other customers might also benefit from it naturally. So Elizabeth, talk to us about BOGO in our platform, how it reflects on the website, and what it might look like in the ERP when an order gets sent through using the integration.
Sure. So collaborating with our customers was a great experience on this one. And as you can see here, buyers can easily add a BOGO discount with a coupon. As a result, the free product is added instantly to the cart. To make this process as smooth as possible, we made sure the discount is visible during the whole buying process. That way, the discounts is displayed in the cart, in the checkout, and even after in the order confirmation and invoice emails. Of course, we've also made sure that the discount information is clearly displayed for the merchants. The coupon is integrated on a special order line item, like our other coupon types. We also added a line for the free products with the price set at $0.
Beautiful. And you can see that on the screen in this case, Business Central. Now, there are many scenarios where BOGO can come into effect. Maybe we can take some time to run through the different scenarios where that can be applied.
Sure. So, of course, different businesses have these different needs. So we've tried to build a flexible promotion that could take a lot of cases. So, of course, there's the classic buy one product, get the same for free. Like here, you can see we've added a product and get a new one at no extra cost. Then we can go into more intricate scenarios, like buy one of the qualifying product and get one for free. Further than that, it's possible to have all of the qualifying products to get a free product. There's also an option to either get same product for free, get a different product for free, or select from a list of free products.
So I really like how it's been expanded to be a bit more flexible than your typical BOGO. I think personally that adds a lot of value in general to the types of promotions that can be set up. I also think that having different scenarios like buy all of qualifying products or buying one of or multiple qualifying products plays a huge role into the overall landscape that this can cover. So, great kudos to you guys. Great job on that using the coupons. Next on the list, these days, privacy is becoming more and more important and harder to keep. We're already seeing many countries create laws around data privacy and data retention. And with that, we've had to adapt our policies around this data retention idea. And so the product team, I know, has done many things. Primarily, or most importantly, at least here today, we're going to be talking about what's called data anonymization. So can you tell us more about why we elected to do what's considered data anonymization within the engine itself?
Sure. So I just want to preface this saying that, of course, data privacy is not always the most thrilling subject, but it's still an important one. So rather than just deleting customer account, we've decided to keep the information, but to render it unreadable. This is what we are referring to when talking about anonymization. That way, merchants can keep the order information, but you don't see the user information anymore when you anonymize the data. They also get the benefit of having auditable traces that prove that their data privacy practices are in place.
So let's say you're a merchant and I'm a customer of yours. And let's say that I call you because I'm worried about data privacy in general. And I want you to remove all of my information from your system, which I know, at least I can say in certain areas, has already been legalized in terms of importance, and companies are now required in certain areas to adhere to that type of request. So how can this be done within the software itself?
Yeah, so there's a way to automate this process, but I'm going to talk about the manual one, where the case you said, someone calls you and is worried and wants to get their data removed. So in the k-ecommerce platform, you would go to the customer user profile and hit the anonymize button. It's a quick process. And then as you can see now on the customer profile, their name and contact info are unreadable. This is how you can confirm that data has been anonymized. This can be done in B2B and B2C context, where in B2B, you'll probably want to anonymize only the user information and not the whole customer account. For example, let's say an employee working for your client leaves. You may want to anonymize only the information of this employee, not the whole customer account. So that's the reason why we've built accommodations around anonymization of users versus customers.
Amazing. Okay, so that means, if I can kind of reiterate what you're saying, if it's a business-to-business account, individual workers within that organization can, let's say they leave the company, they can call in and say, remove my data. So that's from a business standpoint. So the business would stay as a customer, but the individual people that order can be anonymized. And conversely, if it's a B2C customer or a consumer, they can have their entire account anonymized. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry, my camera just seemed to turn off. Turn it back on. Next up, we have payments. So we're moving into KIP. We covered the e-commerce components. Now it seems that we haven't just made improvements to the e-commerce side. There have also naturally been improvements to the KIP component of our platform as well. Just quickly, maybe to reiterate for some of the people on the call, there's the e-commerce platform that k-ecommerce operates with for the full online shopping cart experience and the integration and so on. There's also a component that we call KIP, which is a payment platform specifically, allowing customers to log in and pay open invoices online, and also to internally to process transactions or payments directly inside certain ERPs for those types of payments that need to occur. Now, one problem that has often come up with our customers around KIP was their customers. So with our customers or the merchants, their customers would pay new invoices that would pop up on the screen, and they wouldn't necessarily look at the dates for their invoices. So there would be old invoices that were left unpaid for months at a time, even though they have been paying their bills, just not the older ones. So Elizabeth, tell me about how we fixed that concern or problem that some of our merchants or customers have been dealing with.
Yeah, so to recap, to make sure your customers don't accumulate an outstanding balance, even though I'm sure they're good payers, we've built an option to force them to pay based on the invoice due date. That way, they have to pay older invoices before new ones. And this, I'm sure, will make your accounting team very happy.
So on this, if I'm looking at the screen on the right-hand side, I see there's a little icon here that says, you have to apply your invoices to the oldest ones or to the older ones before paying the newer ones. So that means and that they can't actually pay the older invoices, otherwise it'll be blocked and it'll let them know to pay the older ones, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, that's in terms of the new features that we wanted to talk about here with the product release. Those are some of the, let's say, higher level ones, the more important ones. There's obviously always bug fixes and other improvements for performance enhancements that are done. With that said, we did want to take a few minutes to talk about the future. So we talked about what's currently the present, and now we're going to move on to the future for a few minutes. And this is primarily going to be in the form of what we call the collaboration portal at k-ecommerce. So maybe I'll start off by quickly asking you, Elizabeth, how do we use this tool? What is it? I preface this by saying I'm going to be showing it firsthand here in the next few minutes, but maybe give us a little background as to what it is and how it works.
Yeah, so when we launched this tool, we wanted to give our customers a way to reach us and work closely with them and give them a voice. So this tool is used to gather feedbacks, insights, any suggestions, comments that you can have on our platforms, and it's quite easy to use. This is also a way where we can communicate what we're working on and what we have released. So it's a great tool for that. And of course, we review every insights that we receive, and we consider them when we prioritize what we want to build next.
Perfect. So you obviously have a general roadmap in place, and then this helps steer potentially the roadmap in certain directions based on obviously what our customers are asking for.
Exactly.
Perfect. So with that, I'm going to jump into it. So you'll see my screen change. Just going to get a confirmation that we're seeing the collaboration portal. Perfect. And so I'll cover this really quick. We won't go into huge detail on it, but really what I wanted to do is give a glimpse as to what it is. So first and foremost, when you enter the collaboration portal, you're going to see, a welcome screen with some information about what this is. But more importantly, you can get to different tabs here at the top of the screen or menu items that highlight what phase these ideas are in. Now, these are ideas that were submitted by internal staff here at k-ecommerce based on customer asks, based on just ideas. This is also a list of ideas that were submitted by our customers. And I'll talk about how to submit in just a second. But really here, there are different levels for which each idea are in. The first one are ideas, where you can essentially see a number of ideas within the frame and click on them to read up more details. You can see what's upcoming, meaning that it's been confirmed out of an idea and into potentially confirmed that we want to build it. And then you have in progress, which essentially reflects here things that we are currently working on, right? So a great example of this here is what we call color swatches. For those of you who are aware, attributes within the system or variants can typically be set up with a drop-down list or a few other options. And now we're adding little icons to select those attributes to make it a little bit easier and more visually appealing in situations where we're choosing between color or type of material and certain things like that. Anytime you select one of these ideas, You're going to see some notes, either from our team in terms of what this includes and what it looks like at a high level. And then you can vote here at the bottom how important this feature might be to you. Not important, nice to have, important, or even critical. And once you vote that, you just confirm it. And just like that, there's a new vote that has been added. And then, as Elizabeth said here earlier, that's what is taken into account for the product team in order to make some of their decisions. Now, finally, just before I finish up, submitting new ideas happens here down the right-hand side. It's pretty straightforward. As we said, you just click the plus button, write whatever submission that you want in terms of a new idea, and then you can vote on it yourself, and it's in the list. Once it's in the list, we would read through it. We think it's a good idea, and we can publish it here on the collaboration portal for others to see. Now, the last thing here is launched. These are product elements that have been launched as they made their way through the collaboration portal. So these are features that have been used in the collaboration portal that have been voted on and approved. So there is quite a list here. If you want to stay up to date, this is a great source. And obviously you can continue reading our product release emails and newsletters. So with all that said, we're going to take it to the questions. If you have any, feel free to write them in the Q&A panel. Maybe I'll give about 10, 15 seconds, just gather myself, open up the questions, and if there are any or any more detailed ones, I'll read them out and try and get them answered. All right, so we have a couple. We'll get started maybe on those, and then if there are any more, feel free to write them in. So the first one, maybe I'll ask Elizabeth this one. Can BOGO promotions be applied to only certain customers rather than everybody?
Yes, of course, there's a way to segment based on customers and customer groups.
Perfect. So that means that some customers can have access to the BOGO promotion, but others will not.
Exactly.
Very good. Next on the list, and the second question that we have, looks like the final one. Is there a way to set up buy one, get one promotions across different products at once?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It's we're using our coupon engine, right? So the setup is pretty much similar to any other coupons that you're used on creating.
Perfect. So yes to both, customer specific, and also you can set up multiple promotions within the platform pretty easily without necessarily having to, manually do it one by one. With all that said, if you are interested, if you want to reach out with more information, if you're interested in the update and want to potentially get that version update, we don't automatically push updates most of the time. We do rely on our customers to ask for that update, simply for the fact that we don't want to cause any disruptions in your system if it's busy season or whatnot. So feel free to reach out to us or to support. You see a couple of emails on the screen that you can reach out to. Any way that you can get in touch with us, please do, and we will look to schedule that update. With all that said, thank you very much for joining today's session. Thank you, Elizabeth, for taking the time to do this. I think it was really helpful and great. And with all that said, thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.